what if the equation is not in y equals mx plus b form? What do we do then? Well, we get it in that form. So we take a look over here and we find where y is. Currently we have y over here and we got y over here with a negative 3y. So in order to get that by itself, we're going to be taking advantage of a property in math called the equality property, which is a property that can be used with multiplication, division, addition, or subtraction. And it's real important, which basically states that every equation has two sides. It's got a left side and it's got a right side. And as long as what you do retains equality on both sides, then it's legal to do. So if we have over here 5 equals 5. Well, if we want this statement to remain true, we can add 3 to the left side. We must also add 3 to the right side. That way we get 8 equals 8, and that's still a true statement. But what if we were to instead do 2 times 5 and then equals 3 times 5? In this case, we multiplied by a 2 on the left and we did a 3 on the right. Now, because it's a different number, we now get 10 equals 15, which is not true. It's a false statement. It's not allowed. So we have to retain equality by doing the same to both the left side and the right side of every equation. So with all of that in mind, we are going to do this, except in this case, the equality property is going to be used for these equations. So first thing that we should notice is that we have y over here. We're going to get y on the left side of the equation over here on this try, and we're going to get y on the right-hand side of this equation, just to show how there's two different ways to do it. So first thing is, in order to keep y on the left, I need to get rid of whatever is else on that side in order to make it a true statement. So I can subtract by 4x, and I can subtract by 4x on both left and right sides, thus getting me over here, drop down the 2y, is equal to 6 minus 4x. So as of right now, this negative 4x is coming second, and normally the mx comes first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use another property called the commutative property, which basically says that you can move the order of any addition or subtraction property. So the commutative property allows me to take this and rearrange it so that I have negative 4x blank 6. What should go in that case? Well, is this a positive or negative 6? It's positive, so it's plus 6. Then what I can do is, to get y fully by itself, I can use the equality property of, in this case, division, and I'll divide both sides by 2, and I could divide each term by 2, or I could just divide the whole side by 2, which is what I'm going to do. So I divide that by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I get 1y, or just y, and then I have is equal to negative 4x plus 6 over 2. So in this case, every term is being divided by 2. So negative 4 divided by 2 is going to get me negative 2. Denominator we'll keep for a second, and then plus, and we then have over here 6 divided by 2, which is going to get me 3. And then my denominator, which used to be 2, is now just 1. And when we have a denominator of 1, we basically can ignore it because every denominator is always 1. So in this situation, we now have negative 2x plus 3, and we now have this in y equals mx plus b form. Yay! So that's the first way to do it. The second way, on the other side over here, what we can do is we can use the equality property of addition, add 3y, and then we have over here 6 is equal to 6x plus 3y. Then we can use the equality property of subtraction, minus 6x, and then we have over here 6 minus 6x equals 3y, and I want to order this properly, so I'm going to actually use, again, the commutative property, and I'm going to change the way in which we see it. So I'm going to have 3y on this side, and I'm going to have these guys on this side of the equation. I'm just changing how it looks, but I didn't actually do any different math. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by 3. Actually, before I divide by 3, I'm going to change the order again using commutative property. So my negative 6x is going to go to the left, the 6 will go to the right, and then because the 6 is positive, I'm going to say plus 6. Finally, equality property of division. I'm left with over here y is equal to negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2x, and then 6 divided by 3 is going to get me 2. So we now have y equals mx plus b form over here as well. And that's what you do if it's not in y equals mx plus b form.